The news that Valley housing is expensive and can be hard to find is probably not a shock to you, but we are hearing from real estate experts that things could be moving in a positive direction. We're also learning growth is not consistent throughout the Valley. While all cities are trying to add inventory, there are hot spots both in the urban areas and in further out communities at the edge of the Valley. Many new developments are being driven by job growth related to the state's growing semiconductor industry, especially in areas with lots of open land like Buckeye. And in the West Valley generally, there's more growth in cities like Peoria versus the East Valley, also due to that city's room for new employers. Experts say people want to live where they can work and not have to deal with those long city commutes. As the Valley continues to grow, experts say communities need to be intentional about adding amenities and services in order to make them places people actually want to live.
For many years, the Valley had a reputation, plenty of open land and a place where you can settle down for lower costs compared to other parts of the U.S. But that trend has been changing for at least a decade, says ASU real estate professor Mark Stapp.
Affordability has been an increasing problem since the early teens and has been made worse by the pandemic.
Board president of Phoenix Realtors, Christy Walker, adding last year was especially bad.
It was one of the slowest years we've had actually since the mid-90s. It was the slowest year we've had in number of sales in over a decade.
She blames high interest rates and generally low consumer confidence making people scared to move. But this year, she believes things are changing.
Overall, a much better indicator of Q1 this year than it was Q1 last year.
Lowering costs means adding supply. A large portion of new inventory is in the West Valley. That includes both development in established urban areas like Peoria, as well as in further out communities. In Buckeye, Mayor Eric Osborne says that's driven by new employment opportunities, including large-scale operations related to the state's growing semiconductor industry.
We'll continue to grow that stuff in, and what we're really concentrating now on is bringing in employment to the community and also retail and those date night type restaurants that we want to see here and in our community.
Buckeye saw a year-over-year increase in single-family home inventory for sale of 38% in March, according to data from Phoenix Realtors. Townhouses and condo for sale inventory up 136%. Growth in the West Valley is outpacing growth in the East Valley, though Far East areas like Queen Creek are also seeing continued interest. Mayor Osborne says this is partially driven by new employers throughout the region, adding Buckeye has a massive area of currently unused land. In fact, the area of Buckeye is larger than the city of Phoenix.
The entire Metro Phoenix area is really well positioned for growth, and we think that we're part of all that and really excited about the high-paying jobs coming our way.
While Danny Seiden with the Arizona Chamber of Commerce says the city will push out and develop into areas like Buckeye on the west and Apache Junction in the east, he also notes urban areas will continue to see big developments. That's because of that relationship between jobs and housing.
That was a new trend that really started during COVID, but I think now we're kind of seeing the pendulum swing back a little bit, more return to work, more building teams and building innovation centers and just like a great ecosystem for Arizona as we grow.
In Peoria, new inventory for single-family housing is up more than 60% comparing March this year to last year's. Townhouse and condo new inventory up nearly 90%. Christy Walker adding,
they have a huge amount of opportunity to capitalize on if they want to develop smartly to, take advantage of what the Phoenix city has done to drive that kind of area growth.
With tariffs now hanging over the U.S. and uncertainty of how exactly they could be or if they will be imposed, the housing market faces both the risk of rising costs but also possibly benefiting from increased U.S. manufacturing. There's also the concern increased deportation efforts will hamper the construction industry. Either way, growth is happening here, and making sure it's coupled with building out infrastructure and amenities is key moving forward. Balin Overstolz, KTAR News.